Hey guys, and welcome back to NoBlandMakeup, where we do makeup and body paint tutorials, usually with a cosplay twist. Today's video is just really colorful, so there's that. But before we get on to the actual video, I have a shop open on Teespring, so if you guys want to get stickers, t-shirts, sweaters, go to teespring.com/NoBlandMerch. I'll have the link down in the description for anybody's interested, but back to the reason you're actually here. So as you can see, I've already done the rest of my face, basically. The only thing left to do is my eyes and put some lipstick on, so I'm gonna start with that. First thing I applied was the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. This is because I wanted these colors to really stand out, really give it a bit of pop. I've used this Huda Beauty palette by itself without any base or anything, and it's worn very, very well. The colors are still vibrant, but I wanted to give that a little extra something because I was feeling some kind of way. I regret nothing, and no one will shame me. Now don't forget that you want to get a pretty even layer of the white base on. You don't want to have any like chunky spots or anything because you still want everything to be smooth on the eye. You just want it to be a little bit lighter so the colors show up a little bit more. Now for my first trick, I'm gonna make my crease orange. But I also brought that orange. It's like a neon coral kind of color. I don't know. I love it, and if I run out, I'm going to be really sad. But I blended this into the crease, and I also brought it up the side of my nose, in that socket kind of area where my nose and my eyebrow meet. I applied it there, a little bit lighter on the inside part of the crease, closer to the inner corner, because I was going to apply some yellow there, so I didn't want to be too intense. I wanted the yellow to kind of blend into it. And then I intensified the outer corner and that inner part by the eyebrow a little bit more to my liking. If this is not to your liking, you can always go a little more subtle. I don't know what that word means, as is proofed by a lot of my tutorials. And then, as promised, I went in with a little bit of that yellow, started on the kind of gap that I created, so it was more like a orangish kind of yellow, and then I also brought that down the side of my nose and kind of blended it outwards. Not so much I wasn't really going for like a cheetah kind of look, but it kind of looks like it. I don't hate it. That's all I gotta say about that. Then I took some of that hot pink and I applied that in the crease, but not so that it took completely over the orange that we put on the side. I want it to be more on the lid than the crease. So I went ahead and blended this out. The key thing with this look, since it's more like watercolory, is that everything needs to be blended and have soft edges. So go back to my tried and true method of a little bit goes a very long way. Apply a little bit, blend it out to how you like, and then if you want to intensify it a bit, you can always come back and do that. Next, I took it was kind of like a pinky purple kind of looking color in the pan, but on the eye it looks almost like a neon purpley pink. It looks more purple than pink is what I'm getting at. And I applied that on the lower lash line. I didn't really worry too much about diffusing it because I was just going to take a blending brush and kind of go over it a little bit more. But I still tried. I get points for effort. And I brought that into the inner corner and kind of connected it with the yellow, but did almost like, you know when you do that inner corner kind of wing, when you really want to make your eye look more feline? Kind of did that a little bit. And then, like I said, I went over with the blending brush just to blend everything out and give it more of a smooth transition. Then, using probably the only shimmer color I was going to use in this look, I used the shimmery kind of blue. Honestly, I would have been a little bit more happy with this look if it was matte, so it just kind of goes with the everything else being matte thing, but it looks pretty good. And I blended that a little bit into the pink, giving me more of a purple kind of color. I did have to go back in and kind of finagle with it a little bit, adding a little bit more pink into the blue and then adding a little bit more blue into the pink, just to kind of move the color around to where I wanted it and to get that nice little purple shade right in the middle. Once I did the other side, because I don't know why I only did one eye and then the other. Normally I do them at the same time, but whatever. I applied some black eyeliner. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to. You can honestly just go in with a pair of lashes with the invisible band and you'll be fine. I kind of like how this looks though. So I went ahead and lined my eyes. I just gave myself a nice sharp wing. What can I say? Then I took some blue eyeliner and I dotted around my wing. I wasn't exactly sure where I was going with this, but it came out pretty cool, so we're totally gonna pretend I did that on purpose. And then I also did some dots just under my lower lash line on that purple, just to give me a little something something. I don't know. I see people do it on Instagram and I kind of wanted to try it, and it didn't look how I thought it was gonna look, but I still think it came out pretty cool, so I'm going with it. And then I applied some false lashes. If you guys want some tips and tricks on how to do that, I will have the video I did recently up in the cards for anybody who is interested. And as per my usual style, I applied some mascara afterwards, so that way my real and my fake lashes blend together a little bit more. But also don't forget to give your lower lashes a little bit of love, because mine, as you can see, disappear when I do makeup. I don't know where they've gone. They haven't called me back. And then, although you can't see it, I applied some red lipstick. This one's more of a metallic, and I'm surprised how nice it actually went with everything else. Go figure. But that is the finished look. If you guys liked it, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to see what comes out of my channel next, and hit that notification bell so that way YouTube knows that you actually want to see more of me. And leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favorite colorful eyeshadow palette is, and maybe I'll do a look with it. See you guys next time. Bye!